Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be doing content predictions for tomorrow's drop here in NBA 2K25 My Team. With Galaxy Opals now being in packs, content drops have gotten even more, I guess, in some ways interesting, in some ways annoying. But that's not really the point of this video. Just gonna be talking about who we think, or who I think might be coming in tomorrow's content and why. Before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading every single day, tons of consistent daily My Team content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So first things first, Thanksgiving is next week. I expect some sort of Thanksgiving centered content next week. I don't think we'll get anything like that this week, although maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised with some early good content. Hopefully there's something grindable at least tomorrow as well, which obviously doesn't really have that much to do with pack content, but we have gone a couple weeks now since the Dia de los Muertos event with nothing grindable. One of the worst things about my team so far right now is just there's not a lot to do besides grind ridiculous game mode agendas that take way too long for the average player. So realistically, the game's in a weird state, but cards that I think we can get tomorrow, starting with Amethyst. Look, Amethyst is a crapshoot. It is. We got the best Amethyst we could have gotten, in my opinion, last week, which was DeAndre Ayton. At this point, we're getting to the point where most diamonds are pretty affordable, which is honestly really nice. And it's taking away the emphasis on these Amethysts because now you don't really need these budget Amethysts as much now that diamonds are becoming cheaper. But I will say one Amethyst in particular who I think would be really good is this Darius Miles. He can shoot pretty well. He's an elite level slasher, super solid, versatile defender, good speed. Would be a really nice like budget small forward. Just overall really solid budget card. So he's kind of the guy to me, at least, that I look at and go, I would like to see that Amethyst tomorrow because I think he'd be a really nice budget beast. But with that being said, let's talk about diamonds. First things first, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have no real inkling on the diamonds that are going to come out tomorrow, but I do think we will see. I mean, we got a Jack Sigma this week, which was a really good diamond center. I think we'll probably see one of the good diamond point guards tomorrow because it's been a while since we've gotten a really good diamond PG. And I feel like what that means is we're going to see somebody along the lines of either Michael Richardson, who is obviously a really good defender, big point guard as well, 6'5", really fast release, and good defender. Another point guard that I think we could definitely see tomorrow is Michael Carter-Williams, and I'm not entirely sure where he is. Also, Lonzo Ball as a lower overall, but really good diamond as well would make a lot of sense. I feel like those three guys are the ones that make the most sense to me because they haven't dropped a really good diamond PG in a while. Here's MCW. Another solid all-around card. He's got really good release and is pretty solid defensively. Just a pretty versatile, good card at the diamond at the point guard spot. He'd be really nice, and I think he'd make a lot of sense. And then obviously Lonzo Ball as well, who I believe is a 92 overall, would also be a very, very nice and very, very good. So I think any of those three guys make a lot of sense tomorrow because I do feel like we haven't seen a good diamond point guard in a while. I mean, Mike Conley last week wasn't bad, but there's a lot of good diamond PGs still lurking here in the collection, and I think actually Lonzo might be a 93. But I feel like those three guys are kind of my main guesses when it comes to point guards. Outside of that, I am sure we'll get a couple of bad diamonds and a couple of really solid diamonds. I would think a total of 4 diamonds. Tyson Chandler would be cool, but I don't think we're going to get another big this week because we just got Jack Sigma. A power forward would make sense to me. Somebody like a PJ Washington, which, by the way, there's that Lonzo that I was talking about, who is very, very good. But there's several power forwards. I mean, Thurl Bailey would make sense. PJ Washington would make sense. There's a Joe Smith in here that I know is pretty good that would also make a lot of sense. Another point guard, by the way, is Marcus Smart and Ben Simmons, 2 other PGs that I could definitely see coming tomorrow. I think we'll get a good diamond point guard, regardless of who it is. But Larry Nance is really good. I could see him being one of the good diamonds as well, 6'10", really good defender. I think overall, those are the main guys to me that make sense as the good diamonds tomorrow. Like I said, Joe Smith is really solid as well. Could definitely see him coming out tomorrow. Overall, I feel like that's about it though in terms of the main diamonds. Like I think we'll see a good point guard and a good power forward realistically tomorrow if I had to predict out of the diamonds, and then the other diamonds will be kind of fillers. A couple of guys who probably aren't as good and aren't as big names will probably get 4 diamonds, and I would think 2 of them will be good and 2 of them not quite so much, kind of like last week where Doug Christie and Jada were really good, and we got a couple. I mean, Mike Conley's good, but Boogie Cousins stinks. And I think we'll get a couple of diamonds that are kind of closer to that Boogie Cousins level as well that just aren't very good. Looking at pink diamonds, I do believe that the pink diamonds will be a bit different positionally from the Galaxy Opal. So the first pink diamond I'm going to predict is another point guard, and that is Stephon Marbury. He has not gotten a card besides his gems of the game Ruby this year. I feel like this would make sense. He's a short PG. He's a good shooter, good dunker, solid defender, not amazing. He's fast. I mean, he's a good card. He's got 7 hoffs. I feel like he'd be a solid but not incredible option at the PG spot, although I think he would make a lot of sense to come out tomorrow. I feel like he'd be a good card, relatively affordable point guard, but not like an insanely overpowered pink diamond. And I think he'd be like a pretty average one. The really good pink diamond that I think we'll get tomorrow, because we generally get at least one, is Terry Dishinger. I feel like he's the guy. We have not gotten a Terry card this entire year. The dentist is always popular. 2K is going to drop him at some point, and he's 6'7", small forward. I don't know if they would add a secondary position to him, because 2K does often do that. I mean, Jack Sikma was center only. Now he's power forward center when he get dropped. So I wouldn't be shocked if Terry was either shooting guard, small forward, or small forward, power forward. But I think Terry would be a really, really good card. Very big name in 2K specifically. Rest in peace, the dentist. And a very, very good card as well. Would be one of the very best small forwards in the game without a shadow of a doubt. So would not be surprising at all to see 2K drop Terry as like the best pink diamond, as another guy who's a bit of a pack seller and a high level exciting card in my team. One other guy as well, big name, kind of like Magic last week, but or even especially like Dirk last week, but not as good as this Larry Bird. A card who I think is good, but not great, but is a very big name, and would therefore, again, be a card that I think people would be interested in getting. Now, when you look at him on paper, he's really good. He can get every single badge in the game. I know he's got good shooting and good defensive badges. The thing about Larry is he never really moves very well, and his jumper's always kind of mediocre. He'd be a good card, but not an unbelievable one. I feel like he would make sense as like the second best pink diamond, and a big name as well, who again kind of is a pack seller. We got Magic last week, getting Magic's co-star Larry Bird, not co-star, but similar. They were co-stars in the league, not on the same team, obviously, but Magic and Larry kind of ushered in a new era of basketball popularity. Wouldn't be shocking to see Larry this week after we got Magic last week. And then the final diamond I am going to predict is another decently big name, and that is Mr. I think he's on page 7, Dikembe Mutombo. Rest in peace to Dikembe, man. Absolute basketball pioneer in a lot of ways, internationally, and just a great guy. We have not gotten a Dikembe card this year, with the exception of, again, his Gems of the Game card. But I would not be shocked to see Dikembe drop. Now, he's not going to be a very good card, but he is obviously a guy who I have a lot of respect for, and obviously prayers towards his family and things of that nature. So would be a really good inside big, even if he's not capable as a shooter, and would be limited overall. Wouldn't be an elite level overall card, but would be a really solid inside big, and rest in peace to Dikembe for sure. With that being said, the Galaxy Opal, I think, is the card that everybody's looking forward to. We've gotten 2 Galaxy Opals so far. Sidney Moncrief, Jason Tatum. You know 2K is going to want to sell packs on Fridays with their Galaxy Opals, especially early in the Galaxy Opal drop process. They might not drop the best Galaxy Opals, but they're going to drop some big names. And I feel like the perfect big name as a big man, which we have not gotten a Galaxy Opal of yet, is Anthony Davis. He has not gotten a card this entire year, which to me kind of rules out guys like Shaq, Wilt, Chet Holmgren a little bit, because they've already gotten cards. Yes, they're also Opal bigs and pretty big names. AD has not gotten a single card all year besides his Series 1 card and his Gems of the Game Amethyst. Feel like it's been too long without an Anthony Davis card. He generally comes pretty early in my team. This would make perfect sense. Not an unbelievably overpowered Galaxy Opal as a 6'10" big, but would easily be one of the best bigs in my team. Always has a nice jumper, super athletic, elite, versatile defender, good speed. Would be like a better version of Jaren Jackson Jr. is basically how I would describe Anthony Davis. But I will say he's not, in my opinion, on paper, all that game-changing. He'd be a very good card, but I don't think he'd be OP by any means. Kind of makes sense with the Opals they've dropped so far, where it's not this game-changing, ridiculously overpowered card, but he's a big name, just like Tatum last week, and I think would be a big pack seller and a very popular card in my team. Now, I will continue to encourage y'all to not open packs. I'll just say that as like a little disclaimer here at the end of the video. I'm sure I'll talk about that more in leaks and things of that nature, and probably have some sort of complaint video to come in this weekend if content sucks again. But I think AD makes sense. He's the name to me that makes the most sense for tomorrow's content. With that being said, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.